So when we look at this, let's start with the basics. When we talk about free movement and trade in Nigeria, can you tell us, give us more or less like a context to that?
I mean, um, it's a constitution kind of mandate that you're free to actually move to any part of the country as a people, and so you can also move goods and services across the border. So, I mean, there is no border; you can always move anywhere in the country. So there is actually no barrier or restriction in that sense. But of course, we know there are restrictions in terms of if there is no infrastructure, if there is no enabling environment, there will be challenges in moving from one place to the others. I mean, we see those disparities even when you look at official statistics that shows disparity between rural and urban, and then you see that those kind of friction that are made due to infrastructure. You see between north and south sometimes that there is really disparity in terms of access, and those are actually to do with those cultural barriers and infrastructural barriers. But I think maybe major one is to look at Nigerians and maybe our neighbors in West African region or rest of Africa, because as we know, a lot of African regulations actually guarantee some of these freedoms, not just within the local national boundaries, but within the regional boundaries. For example, West African regions, ECOWAS, there's free movement of people that is allowed to some extent, with also the ETL, ECOWAS trade agreements and liberalization. That's also allowed movement of goods and services, but again, we're seeing barriers and constraints in all of those areas. So there is, I mean, to many extents, at the very national and to some extent regional level, some kind of laws and regulations that allow things to move freely, but there are barriers that we still need to overcome, whether at national level or even regional level. But let me also mention, I mean, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the aspiration of the continent is at one point in time, we should be able to see what we are seeing at the national level, whereby people can move freely, goods can move freely, also at the very continental level. We are not there yet, but that's actually the aspiration of Africa as a region.